Welcome to the Floral Shop podcast, where flowers and business blend seamlessly. Join our journey to uncover the secrets of elite event designers and get insights into the art of running a successful floral shop. Here is your host, Ziv Raviv.
Hello and welcome to the Floral Shop podcast. Today with me is Jerry Williamson from bishopflowers.com, the shop all the way from Alabama. Hello, Jerry. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share with us your story. Let's start with the beginning. How did you find yourself in the floral industry?
Well, my background is hotel catering business. I was doing that for like 12 or 15 years. And of course, being in catering, you have all the flowers coming in all the time. And I just got attracted to flowers. And then I managed a place in Miami, a catering place there called Signature Gardens. And they had an in-house florist, and they turned that over to me while I was there doing that. So that just kind of got the bug started with me. And then I got a job here at Bishop's Flowers. And then eventually me and 3 other employees bought the business from them. That was 30-something years ago.
Wow. So quite a journey from catering to working at a flower shop and eventually buying it. Are you still partners with those other employees, or like what happened next?
No, well, basically I was the baby. I just turned 65 and I was the baby of the group. So in the last 5 to 7 years, they all retired out. And then so I ended up becoming the sole owner then, which made a great podcast here.
Was that like something that was complicated to negotiate, like buying their share of the business?
No, it was very easy. We had always made the plan that we just bought each other out as we went, or I bought everybody out as we went along. So it was like hitting like 3 different groups, 3 different time frames. So just bought them out as they retired out there.
So tell me a little bit about Bishop Flowers. Like, what do you have? What type of a team? How do you sell most? Is it like walk-ins or events or online? Tell me, what do you actually do?
We do it all. I have a staff, just 2 full-time or 3 full-time employees, but then I have 4 part-time employees. And I don't know, it's one of those kind of things where everybody has their role. So everybody kind of knows what to do. We just work it from there.
These days, what do you do in the business?
Well, now this is when you're going to start wanting to get on me now. I actually still work in the business. I am in the process right now of planning my exit strategy in the next 5 years. So, but yes, I do. I have a team that works for me, and I jump in whenever we need to jump in. Then I don't work on a daily basis with them. Mine now is more in planning and basically structuring the team so that they can take over as I start to dwindle out of the business a little bit.
What do you do to get people to know about your business?
I'm very big into networking. Face-to-face marketing is really big to me. So chamber events, all different types of networking events that are really big. It's primarily the way we've managed to promote this business ever since I've owned the business, really.
How often?
Very little advertising. I've tried all the advertising other than Google, and nothing worked. The biggest thing we found that we advertise is we donate flowers. And so that way I can actually see my artwork done. So if someone calls me wanting a donation, they're going to get a flower arrangement.
Very interesting. So you mentioned Google. Is that something that you are still spending money into ads on Google?
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm good with that at all. So I know nothing about Google as far as advertising stuff. I know that's something where I'm going to have to get to eventually. But right now I'm not doing any type of advertising like that.
Do you sometimes offer clients some sort of an enticement so that they will come back again?
Not really. No, I haven't really thought about that before. Now, I won't say just the typical client. Now, we have a really good clients. We entice them throughout the year. We're always sending our regular people little thank you cards or thank you notes, thank you flower arrangements. And then maybe small ones, they may be large ones. And we send out birthday arrangements and stuff like that, just to keep in touch with people throughout the year. But to answer your specific question, no, I don't have anything in play for that.
Do you sometimes offer a sale where they can buy the flowers at a discount?
Yes, we have what's called a weekly special, and we only started that in the last few weeks, actually. I've never done it. I'm not really big on sales. Being an artist, I feel like I underprice my product anyway. So whenever I start thinking about putting it on sale, I'm just cutting into my money then. So I don't do anything like that. We do have weekly specials that are at a better price range for people, just to get a little bit of attention.
What's more important for you, clients that walk in or clients that find you online?
Online. That's where it's all going, is online. When you have a small staff, which I've never been online before. This is kind of new to me in the last few years, is really being, working online. But when you have such a small staff, as most small florists do, the way I look at it is that website ends up being another person that would be sitting here on the phone. And it would be typing information into the system and all that type of stuff. Whereas online, it happens when I'm at home and we walk in the door and we've got several orders waiting us when we walk in the door. So that's the next thing I've got to really focus on, is really getting out there with the online promotions.
How happy are you with your current website?
I'm not happy with it. Actually, what we're doing right now is we're running two different websites. We run one, which is bishopsflowers.net, and that's where you go to if you want to actually order online. And then we have bishopsflowers.com, which was our first website, and that was just basically your typical website to send clients to. And we're kind of ignoring that right now. So we're not really doing a good job on that website itself.
What's the average cost or like the average spend of a client when they're buying online?
$150 to $200.
Is it different than walk-ins?
Oh yeah, walk-ins, as they come in, they want to spend $85 to $100.
So actually, on the online, they are upgrading. They buy a little bit of like some extras.
It's interesting. It's very interesting because we have options on there to upgrade. So you can add candy, you can add a teddy bear, you can add this and that, and you can leave a team tip. And it's shocking at the number of people that take the upgrades when they're online, and they even leave tips, which means it's a totally different clientele than the typical person that picks up the phone and calls us because we came up in Google first. Up in Google because we have like 536 positive reviews from Google.
That's important. You're getting a lot of people to buy an extra. When they buy from you, do you also like keep their email on an email list and then later send them some newsletter?
Yes, that's built in with the system we have. It's called Flora Next. It's a florist. You probably heard of it, working with florists, but it's Flora Next. There's several of them out there, but this is one that we found that we like, for at least for now. And they do all that for us. They grab the information. They send out emails for each season. And then we have the opportunity to also go in and tap into that as well, which I'm not doing well right now, but we have that opportunity to do that.
How expensive is that service?
Not expensive at all. Like $1,400 a year.
And they send an email in your behalf how often?
Once a month.
Gotcha. Very interesting. And how important is it for you to sell flowers on Valentine's? Like, how busy can it get?
It gets busier than I can get. How about that? So, yeah, on Valentine's Day, I don't even market Valentine's Day anymore, honestly. I mean, I do Facebook stuff and things like that, but as far as any marketing, I'm turning down, or me and probably every other florist in town, we're turning down orders on Valentine's Day. So yeah, there's no way we can ever do all the orders. And the same goes with Mother's Day as well.
Do prices change around Valentine's and Mother's Day?
Yeah, they go up, of course. Yeah, like the rose is almost basically double in our price for us. We don't pass that on to the customer, but that's about the difference. And it's because they have to literally pinch roses early in the year to get them to grow right at that time. And then there's just roses all over the world being sold at the same time. So obviously it's supply and demand. So they go up on that price. And then you got shipping because there's so much being shipped out, that's what really kills us is shipping now. So that goes up. And then they tag on, like, person who delivers to me, they're normally like $22 a box to deliver flowers, and they go up to like $27 a box on that day. So
throughout the year, what solution do you use to deliver the flowers?
what do you mean by that? To deliver?
Do you deliver them by yourself with a team member, or do you have some sort of a service that you use?
No, we don't do service here. We just have a driver on the team in a van, and we deliver it that way.
You've been in the business for quite a while. What type of advice would you give to yourself if you could talk with yourself 10 years ago? What type of an advice would you give yourself?
Oh, wow. That's a lot of things. I could answer that too. But I would say the main thing is just because I had business partners before, I remember the day I used to say, I don't ever want to have employees because we were just all partners. And now it's employees. And that is the toughest part for running the business to me, is because, you're not paying $45 an hour like some people expect. And it's really hard to get a good team that wants to stay with you anytime with the amount of money that you can pay. So that's one of my biggest struggles, I would think, is just getting the key team and keeping them and getting them trained properly. And I think that's one of my biggest focus next, is just start training, but be more in training so it's consistent.
What would you say if you were now like growing your team and you were hiring your next employee? What would be their initial hourly rate?
15 an hour.
Starting with 15.
Right.
And with experience, what's the range?
I would say up to 17, probably, which is kind of industry standard, at least here in Alabama. I've got one that's at that rate now because she basically is going to be my next manager. But
is it hard to find employees?
Oh, yeah. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, and Huntsville we have the Space and Rocket Center here, we have NASA here, we have the Redstone Arsenal here. So this is a very, very big technological city. So finding people that want to work, small businesses that don't have the benefits and insurances and stuff like that, that's the struggle. That's the biggest struggle in running the business. I have no problem really getting customers. I've got customers. It's just keeping a team that can put the product out the way we want to put them out. And that takes a lot of training. But I got really lucky this time. I got one brand new guy that came in. He came in as a driver. And within weeks, we made him a designer. I mean, and he's great. He's a really good designer, but he never knew it and we didn't know it either. So that's how we find our people. But that doesn't happen fast.
Do you have some sort of documentation, like SOPs of the different designs that you want to sell? No. It's all in your head?
Well, no, it is in my head, but we kind of treat our arrangements like a piece of art. So when you call up here, you're not going to call up here and say, I want order number A117. A lot of florists have all the pictures from the telefloral or whatever wire service they're with. They have all those pictures. I don't even make flowers that look like that. So I don't even like copying my own pictures. It really bothers me when someone comes to me with something I've made before and say, I want one like this, because now you've just taken the art away from it. Now it just becomes another piece of something that we stamped on an assembly line and put out the door. Now, if I'm doing obviously a wedding, yes, we have assembly line products set up where we would be working in an assembly line situation like that. But normally we look at the dollar amount, if they have any special questions or desires for it. Otherwise, it's up to the designer to just make that beautiful for that price range.
How important are the wedding decor for your business?
We've always been a big wedding florist. Ever since I joined Bishop, there was a really big wedding florist in Huntsville when I joined. Over the years, there's been a lot of not really florists, but people who do weddings on the side, or that's what their specialty is, but they're not open. They don't deliver flowers 6 days a week like I do. So I think if you take all of that and you figure out that what they can do then is, I got lost on my train of thought there. So what were we talking about?
We're talking about weddings and their importance for your business.
So the weddings, it got to where what I found was, because I'm small, we are not able to take care of our daily clients like on Friday, because we're spending all of our time doing big weddings. So basically what I have done now in the last year is I've decided to turn that around. We're going to do more micro weddings and more small weddings that we can more handle, not have to worry about people having 6 team members out on the road, and I'm still trying to run a flower shop. So it's just basically I just chose my battles. And my battles is to take care of the regular daily customers that come in. And then I can do small weddings, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, but I don't even want to do a $10,000, $20,000 wedding.
What's your plan for the rest of the year in terms of like any special projects or ways to grow the business?
I would say the most important thing I'm doing right now is just trying to get a team together where we can consistently provide the flowers that the people are looking for. So in other words, like if I have to split my team, then I split the end results. Does that make sense?
Splitting your team by in what way?
By having many different things going on instead of just trying to focus on the flower shop itself.
So you will do that by hiring more people?
Yes, eventually we will hire more people.
How long does it take in hours, like training hours, to actually get one of your newer team members to be ready to design?
It's according to their experience when they come in, to be honest with you. Like I said, the one guy had no experience and he was ready to design it within a month. I have somebody else I hired. She had been a designer before. So, I mean, she walked in the door and the only thing we had to switch on her is get rid of the style that she was used to doing and come to what we call the Bishop's flower style. We had to do some of that. But so I would say a couple of months, and they picked up on our style, and that kind of puts me out in the room saying, we got to do this, we got to do this, we can't do that, we need to do this. And just slowly touching their designs up to where now I'm in here doing a 30-minute podcast and they're out there and I'm not worried about anything. I know the product is going to look the way I want it to look.
What's your opinion about social media?
I love it.
Tell me more. Like, do you do it yourself? Do you have someone do it for you?
I do it myself. I've got an employee that also helps. I know that's not the thing to do, but financially, that's where we are. But I think social media is a great place to get a lot of people in one setting, and you just build. It's kind of like the networking again. If you work that right, to me, social media is nothing but networking online. You got to build the relationships to get on there. You got to know your audience, and you got to provide what your audience wants, not just what you want to do.
How do you make sure online that the people that follow you are actually relevant for your business?
Well, they're relevant for my business simply because if they're doing anything, even including just hitting the like button, that helps get me seen by other people. So that's, to me, anything is relevant to taking us to the next level.
When you network in person, in real life, do you also make sure that they follow your Instagram and TikTok? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I'm not a let me shove all this down your throat type thing. I will eventually go back though and follow them or get them they'll follow me one. But no, I'm not one that starts talking that on the first date. I just don't. Hey, what's your email address? I don't even want to ask their email address. If they give me a business card, they have it on there. If not, I'll get back with them.
What helps you when you network, when you go to the networking meetings, what helps you actually get business out of it?
Well, I've been doing this so long and been networking for so long. All I need to do is meet the people. So it's really, that's the whole point of networking. I used to teach networking, by the way, and the typical person goes to a networking event and they go to get a cocktail, they go get a plate of food, and they go and find a wall to put their back up against. That's not networking. So the whole point of networking is that you've got to find people that want to talk to you, know really quickly if they're your type of person to talk to or not, and get out if you're not in a good place. But if you are in a good place, that's when you start building a relationship. And that's why I like the chamber so much, because then you go back again and again and again. Now, by the third or fourth time you've seen them, then now the conversation starts to change. Now it starts to be, what can I do to help you? Not what can you do to help me? And that's the biggest thing that I've learned in networking is. The majority of people go to networking events because they want to pitch their business to everybody that they see. No one's there to have 400 people pitching their business to them. So you go there, build the relationships, find out about them. That's when you can also use your social media to go back and do some investigating on who you may want to meet at your events and look them up. And now all of a sudden you've got something to talk to them about when you do happen to get to meet them. And it could be something like, hey, I saw that your daughter had a birthday yesterday. She's a really cute little kid. That totally changes the conversation when you're at a personal network and we're looking at each other eye to eye.
What other tips would you give someone that wants to start leveraging networking?
Join the chamber. Obviously, is the number one thing you can do is join the chamber, because the chamber is made for small businesses like us in flower business. I think the chamber is one of the best things you can do. There's an organization out there called BNI. You can do that. And then there's all other kinds of smaller networking groups. Just be careful. Be careful, because you got to make sure when you go there that the people are trained as well as you are, because if you don't, then you're going to be going to networking events and nothing's going to happen but people hit up on you, wanting you to buy their product. And nobody goes to a networking event to buy a bunch of stuff, right? You go to networking events to promote yourself and your business, and you don't go to promote. So that's the biggest thing to me. If people can learn, build relationships, and that's in anything, whether it's in your flower shop or it's in your network. And if you build the relationships, those people will do the work for you. They will promote you. I had one girl that I remember event years ago. She started saying, if it didn't come from Bishops, take it back. That became a slogan in my chamber friends. That wasn't Bishop's slogan, but that was something they said. And then now you just got to where, hey, if it didn't come from Bishops, send it back. So that's the relationship you want to build by going to the networking events. And then they'll promote you.
Yeah. I've noticed on your TikTok that you've designed a sort of like an arrangement of flowers that was coming out of a shoe. What's the story behind that?
Man, I don't even know. I don't even remember making that. That was so long ago. I don't even know what the story is, but that was a big deal for a while, was the shoes, and you're probably talking about the boot as a high heel, right? That was a really good story. That was someone's father's old work boots. And then the flowers were made around it for his funeral. Yeah.
That's a sad story, but an inspiring one.
Yeah, but that's what we do all day long. So,
Of course.
Yeah, we make them smile no matter what.
Love it. It's been a pleasure to pick your brain, Jerry. Clearly, you love what you do and you do it well. I thank you for sharing with us a few ideas about business and networking and reminding us about the art side of this business. Where can people go if they want to learn more about what you do?
Jerry at bishopsflowers.com.
And we're going to put in the show notes the links to the website and the social media accounts and the TikTok. You could go and see all of those different designs that are quite interesting, quite special, and have their own signature styling. And I want to thank you again, Jerry, for being a guest, and thank you everyone for listening for another episode of the Floral Shop Podcast. See you next week.
Thanks for tuning into the Floral Shop Podcast. For more floral resources and stories, visit our website floralshoppodcast.com or step into our school at floralshopacademy.com. Don't forget to subscribe for our next flowery adventure. Keep blooming until we meet again.